Thinking about doing a webinar, here's what I want you to keep in mind. You're going to read a lot of things, too much probably, on the internet, or get somebody else's advice about who should do one, who should not do one, when is it going to be effective, when is it not going to be effective. So here are some things I want you to think about and to be a critical thinker. So make your own decision, ultimately, is what I'm saying. But I do think that there are reasons, after being in the fitness industry for 30 years, that we're not penetrating deep enough the market of people who truly need us. Why? Because they are intimidated by our environment. They're intimidated by us. Granted, most of us think we need to be in shape before we actually take up the profession in the first place, or in the journey of getting in shape. We fall in love with the exercise, and we want to help other people learn what we learned and get the results and feel the way we feel, which is all good, but it means that we probably look too good to be true. And the people who need us the most don't hear our backstory. They don't hear about when we were sick, or when we were binge eaters, or when we were overweight. We don't necessarily tell those stories, and honestly, we should. But when we want to attract those people, one of the easiest ways to connect with them is online. They're Googling questions. So your articles, your videos, your ways of connecting with them are that way. But what does a webinar allow you to do? Two things, but most of all, it allows you to connect live with them. You can interact. They can interact with you. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can have just slides on view, and you are the voice, but interacting and accepting questions. You can show your slides, and on part of the screen show you and a headshot, so they actually know this is live, this is you moving, bobbing, sneezing, whatever. Or you can actually show just you and be on the other edge of a screen, and like doing FaceTime. So you can do a multitude of things and connect with an audience. So you need to decide what's the best way for you to do it. I still use slides, not a lot of distraction, putting a photograph on the first slide, introducing me, introducing my background, who I am, but then really focusing on the content and their questions, more importantly. So why do a webinar? I'm going to come right back to it. If you're in a brick and mortar building, you're going to think, potentially, why wouldn't they just walk in my door? Well, here's why. Because they are intimidated by the environment. So you're going to reach those people. But you're also going to reach those people who it sounds like a great idea to go to that seminar or that forum or the panel. But once they get home and they don't want to go out again at night, if they have an option where they can just turn on their computer and listen to you, or even replay the webinar at a convenient time for them, you give an audience of people who otherwise you cannot connect with a way to get to know you. So think about those people who are intimidated, or who are rural, or just maybe they work in the same community you work in, but they live 20 to 30 miles out. So they're going to go home and see their kids for dinner. They're probably not going to want to come back for a 7 p.m. meeting or program or presentation, even if it's free, because of the cost of the time and the gas and the energy. But if they can plug you in right into their computer, in their living room or their office, you've got it made. So think about those people, extremely busy people, overcommitted people. You're probably one prime example. You don't necessarily want another schedule on your calendar. You don't want another appointment or a meeting that you have to go to. The content sounds great, but I don't want to sign up for another class. A lot of people are like that. So give them credit for it. Find a way to connect with them. So here's what I would suggest. If you're thinking about webinar, there's a reason you're thinking about it and about who you're not reaching. So those people who are intimidated, those people who are too busy, those people who are overcommitted and do want your information, but probably are not going to come in and meet with you. That's one great reason, or 3 great reasons to do a webinar. So keep reading.